The game ain't based on sympathy. I'll leave it at that.
What's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy Action Jackson, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about possible QB backup options for the Dallas Cowboys that they can eye in case Garrett Gilbert or Ben DiNucci doesn't cut it for them. All right, so this list right here is going to be no particular order. So starting out, Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor to me is a more versatile, healthy Alex and Tyrod Taylor both. I want Tyrod Taylor on my team because obviously he's available right now, and I believe that Alex Smith might have retired. So with Tyrod Taylor is like an Alex Smith in a way that where he's not gonna lose you a game by throwing so many interceptions, fumbling, things like that. But he's not gonna take you behind from like a Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady or Russell Wilson where you're down a couple scores late in the third, early in the fourth quarter you're down by a couple scores. He's not gonna throw you back into the game. But right here, Tyrod Taylor is a great, viable QB manager. And hopefully with a healthy team around him, so healthy offensive line, tight ends are healthy. Robert, you get your big trio in Dallas. You get Zeke and Tony Pollard, and offense is clicking. Tyrod Taylor would excel in this team. All right, now I understand why you're kind of thinking like, dang, Action, you just saw him play last night, and you think that he might get cut. No, I don't know what Pittsburgh's going to do, and I'm not really up to date on Pittsburgh, and I haven't heard anything good or bad coming out of camp around Dwayne Haskins. So I don't know if he's balling out or he's going to stay on the roster. I don't know if they're putting him into the fold of possibly taking over for Big Ben. Dwayne Haskins can possibly be in there, man. He was a top 15 pick, man, and I wouldn't, if I'm Pittsburgh, I'm rooting for the brother, man. I really hope Dwayne Haskins excels, and hopefully he takes that starting role in Pittsburgh and he excels, and they go back to being a consistent playoff team. I don't want them to win no more Super Bowls because they already got 7. Oh, no, my bad. I'm tripping. They have 6, but I don't want them, to further on. But, of course, I want Dwayne Haskins to ball out. I want him to have a starting job in this league because I know he has immense talent, and I don't want it to go to waste. If Dwayne Haskins, if something pops up and Steelers don't really want Dwayne Haskins, he probably won't make the cut. If I'm Dallas, you claim a waiver for me. You literally try out and go seek Dwayne Haskins. If Dwayne Haskins is available, I'm definitely on it. If I'm Dallas, he's a young kid. He would not start over Dak, but you bring him in. You develop him like how Pittsburgh's probably trying to do it right now. He can learn a thing or two behind Dak, and who knows, he can come in, hopefully. Like I said, I don't want none of these guys to be on my team, but if something ever happens to Dak, I believe Dwayne Haskins can come in and do the job. He has a big arm. He's a smart player. This is obviously going to be a viable option that I want Dallas to check out and see. The next quarterback on the list, Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota stepped in for the Raiders, December 17th of last year when I believe that Derek Carr pulled his groin against the Chargers, and that was when the Raiders needed to win some games to hop into the playoffs. But unfortunately, they lost that game in overtime. He was a free agent this past offseason. He drew an interest from Washington because obviously Washington didn't have a quarterback, and they weren't looking to trade up to get a quarterback. And Washington was in a bad spot to get a quarterback anyway because they had to fight through too many division rivals like the Giants, Eagles, and Cowboys, because that's where Justin Fields was around. He ended up getting dropped to at least I think 11. So anyway, he got in significant interest from Washington. So if I'm Dallas, I know the Raiders, a contract, I don't know what the contract details were. I think it was at least a 2-year, $8 million deal. So, he'd be getting $4 million a year. But I think that's incentive based. So if he maybe gets a couple starts or he wins a playoff game or whatever for the Raiders, he'll potentially reach up to the max contract of getting to that $8 million probably. But this is just a guess. I'm probably thinking of Mariota's contract. But if I'm Dallas, you go check out for Marcus Mariota. Hey, Jimmy Garoppolo, man. If you follow me on Instagram at action.17, man, I first guessed this. Me and a couple other friends when the Niners when they were on their one good year and they went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. I already knew Jimmy Garoppolo was the weakest link on that team. If you knew anything about football, you know that he was the weakest link on that team, and he was going to cost them, which it ended up happening on that throw against Emmanuel Sanders. I'm not going to really go into depth about that. You guys know the story. But Jimmy Garoppolo, to me, if the Shanahans know what they want in a quarterback. They don't like their quarterback being one of the weakest links on the team. So if they can get better at any position, doesn't matter if it's quarterback, backup, running back, whatever, the Shanahans always love to get better at a position if they can. So, and that's why they traded from 12, moved up to 3 with Miami, and they went up and they got them Trey Lance. I don't really like the Niners. I don't like the Niners at all, but I would love to see Trey Lance succeed. Have him getting starting role there, winning the starting job over Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo will be on the trade block like how he was last year. And if I'm Dallas, I will listen. I will go in, to John Lynch and Shanahan and Kyle Shanahan and see what they want for a Jimmy Garoppolo. Same thing like with these other quarterbacks. I'm not giving up a third-round pick or a second-round pick for no Garoppolo. If he's available for a fifth or sixth round, seventh round pick, I would definitely go out and try to go get Garoppolo. Game manager, he's not going to win you a game. He's not going to lose you a game. Well, in case of Super Bowl 54, he did lose them a game. So hopefully he doesn't sell for us. So, we have a viable team like that too, where we have a great offensive line when healthy. Tight ends are solid, and we ain't got nowhere near Kittle's level of tight end. But, we have a better receiving option, probably the best receiving option he has ever seen in his entire life. Running backs were really good. Solid, got top 5 back in Zeke. So you got that. So Garoppolo would be a nice option that Dallas can go after. Cam Newton. Now, this is if he's available. I love Cam Newton. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league. He revitalized his career, and he shows these people why he was the number 1 overall pick. He's probably not going to get to that same level of a 2015. I understand that's like that's past him. But if he can play like how he did in 2018, before he had his shoulder injury against the Pittsburgh Steelers, they were on a roll before Cam's injury. They were 6-2. They were winning They were either leading the NFC South or just behind the New Orleans Saints last year and the NFC South about 3 years ago. So hopefully Cam Newton balls and he starts for the Patriots and he takes them to the playoffs and he sneak in as like the seventh, as a 7th seed or a 6th seed or a 5th seed, because I don't think they're going to beat. It's very possible they can take over and dethrone Josh Allen and the Bills, but Cam Newton's obviously going to be, because if Cam Newton doesn't win the starting job anywhere else, so this is all hypothetical I'm talking about. So if I'm hoping Cam Newton the best. So if Cam Newton doesn't do his thing, Dallas go after him. He'll be sitting behind Dak obviously, but he'll give a Dak a run for his money. Always keep Dak on his toes. Side note, that's what I loved about of course, like Cowboy fans talking about the past, but of course, Jimmy Johnson back in the day, he just got inducted to the Hall of Fame and then finally being brought into the Ring of Honor. That's what I loved about Jimmy Johnson. All the Jimmy Johnson stories you would hear was that he always had competition at every single level of the football field, whether it was punter, kicker, quarterback. Even though nobody brought in could even touch Troy Aikman, he at least gave that the court that it was no. He was like a Bill Belichick where, because Bill Belichick, he still asks advice from a Jimmy Johnson. And Jimmy Johnson's been out the game for forever. But like Bill Belichick does, he has competition at every single level, and that's what Jimmy Johnson would do. So I would love for Dallas to bring competition in at the quarterback position. I think Cam Newton he's a great, fiery competitor. So obviously Cam Newton would be a nice option if available. Nick Foles. What about Nick Foles? Magical run in the 2017 Super Bowls. Nick Foles is going to win. He's either going to win you a game or lose you a game. If you need Nick Foles to win you about 2 to 3 games, 4 games, like how Philly asked him to do back in 2017 when Wentz went down, then you have a nice team built around Foles. Foles can definitely succeed. But if you're telling him to go on and be QB1 and go to like a Jacksonville or Chicago or any sort of NFL team and lead them and try to win all 17 games, he's like a Ryan Fitzpatrick, where he'll start off hot and then he will get exposed and show as to why he's a career backup quarterback. So no disrespect at all to Nick Foles, because he got a Super Bowl MVP and he's won a Super Bowl. So Nick Foles would be a valuable, and I would love for him, not love, but it would be nice for Dallas. I would love for him to be my backup, not to be my starter, but to be my backup for sure. And he'll definitely go at a low, cheap price, a 5th round, 6th round pick at best. And because Chicago, they are 3 deep, plus more, obviously, because they brought in more quarterbacks. But Justin Fields is untouchable, obviously. They gave up future assets to move up to go get Justin Fields. So Justin Fields is untouchable, and I wasn't even thinking of Justin Fields. So I'm just, letting you guys knowing the QB situation. So Justin Fields is possibly going to be a starter week 1. I don't know how they're going to do it there. Andy Dalton is there. No, we do not want Andy Dalton because, obviously, why trade for a quarterback when you obviously could have re-signed him? But Andy Dalton, my bad, excuse me. Andy Dalton is there, and then you got Nick Foles. Nick Foles is most likely the odd man out in that situation because Chicago just gave a contract to Andy Dalton. So Nick Foles will probably more than likely be on the trade block. They traded Teddy Bridgewater to the Broncos for some late round picks, I believe. And then the Panthers obviously ended up getting Sam Darnold. But Deshaun Watson is in play with like 3 different teams: Broncos, Panthers, and the Eagles. So what I'm looking at right now with Denver, if Denver has the assets to pull off and go get a Deshaun Watson. So if Deshaun Watson comes into Denver, and Denver has a really nice team. They're really underrated. They're not really on TV a lot. They're not, because they're not winning, and they don't have a quarterback to show off and showcase the talents of a Courtland Sutton, Noah Fant, Jerry Jeudy, and so on and so forth. So Teddy Bridgewater to me is definitely a quarterback. If Denver brings in a better quarterback or they bring in a Deshaun Watson, Teddy Bridgewater would definitely be on the bubble. And I would definitely try and go trade for Teddy Bridgewater. Same thing with like a Tyrod Taylor, Alex Smith. He's going to take what the defense gives you. He's not going to lose you a game, and he's not going to really come back from a trail really down behind and win you games. I saw that, I believe, 2 years ago because he messed up his stomach against the Rams like week 2. And Teddy Bridgewater, man, he started for like 5 or 7 games. He went in there, won 5, 6 straight games in a row. And then he upheld the Saints for them, obviously to keep afloat, so they can get the number 1 seed, or at least the top 2 seeded team. So Teddy Bridgewater is really nice. And then if you look at the situation that he had in New Orleans, that's really great. He had Michael Thomas when he was healthy, and then you had Alvin Kamara, you had a solid offensive line, you had Jared Cook, and I believe that we have a way better option than what the Saints had that year. We got trio wide receiver. I'm not going to really go all over, but Teddy Bridgewater can really excel if he comes in and backs up Dak, or if he comes in for a game for Dak, he can really excel because you're going to have Zeke who can carry the load, Tony Pollard who can carry the load, and then if he ever needs to drop back and throw a pass, he can. He has an arm. He doesn't have the biggest arm, but he has an arm where he can get it to a Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, things like that. And I would definitely love for Dallas to get him if he's available. That I believe that can be on the trade block, and Dallas will be able to obtain is Case Keenum was the year of the backup quarterback, if you think about it, because Nick Foles went to the Super Bowl. Case Keenum played in the NFC Championship. Blake Bortles went to the AFC Championship. That was the year of the backup quarterback. So Case Keenum, to me, is a viable QB option. Game manager, just like the other quarterbacks I just showed you, except for a couple of them. He can go out there. He can win you a game. Also lose you a game because, he is turnover prone at times. But Case Keenum, to me, would definitely be a valuable QB option I would love to pick up. No particular order. Those are just the QB options, again, that if Dak ever were to go down, those were quarterbacks. Those are the 8 quarterbacks I would love for Dallas to go after and try to acquire. And if Dak is out for like a game or two, those are quarterbacks I believe that can come in and win you a game or two. I'm not looking for those quarterbacks to ever start for a very long period of time. So, like I said, in another added note, these are quarterbacks. These are quarterbacks in case Dak goes down. But I'm really hoping that Dak does not go down, which I don't think it will. Last year was a fluke, and you look at every great quarterback, they always had that one terrible injury year. You think about Peyton Manning with his neck injury. He was out, he came back, he balled. Backup quarterback never seen the field except for like one, like the tail end of his career of 2015 when his age was starting to catch up with him. And then you look at Drew Brees where he tore his rotator cuff in San Diego, and he came out, went to New Orleans, and balled out in New Orleans. Tom Brady tore his ACL coming after the 17-1 season, and he came out the next year. I believe they went to the Super Bowl and things like that, or AFC Championship. I don't really remember. So every big time quarterback, they always have that one rarity where they're Iron Man, and then they have that one horrific injury, and everybody thinks their career is over and things like that. So thank you guys for tuning in. The next video. Have a nice day. Bye.